Sizzlen Stampers, it's Shannon here, and this week I'm super excited to bring to you a fun and easy couple of projects. I'm calling it a spring card duo. This is originally designed for one of my local community classes, and it is all based around using what Stampin' Up! Calls the Memory and More product line. So this is from our spring mini catalog, and it uses the Heart and Home Memories and More product line. And so when you get your kit, it's all going to be tucked in this envelope. This is the large Memory and More envelope in this set. And then within it, you're going to find several things. Now, please note that all items are random. So not everyone's cards and not everyone's little accessory pieces are identical. So let's look at some of the things. You're going to have a cutout of some flowers that you're going to trim even nicer. You're going to have a little sticker sentiment or another background. You're going to have a flower, and you may have one other little background tidbit. Those are all random. You're either going to have a little pale papaya flower, or you might have one of the golden bee trinkets. Everyone has a couple little bling, so different types of rhinestones. And then you're going to have two cards, one that has some lines or graphs on it, and sometimes both of them might, but you're going to have two cards, and those are for you to determine how you want to use it. As you see the project, you'll kind of get an idea. Again, all random. Now, everyone does have a piece of this paper. This is the gorgeous Bumblebee paper, and I love it. It actually looks like fabric when you look at it closely. Everyone has 3 pieces of ribbon or twine. We have a white linen, faux linen. We have a denim, and we have some baker's twine that is our beautiful Misty Moonlight color that is just retired with silver and white. It's one of my favorite twines that we've ever had. You're going to have 2 pale papaya ovals, a scallop and a smooth. Again, the small bee envelope and a note card that has a wood finish to it, and you'll be folding that. You also have a half of a piece of a doily. You might have the cinnamon cider, this is the Misty Moonlight, or you might have the basic gray. If you don't like the color you have, don't worry, you can turn it over and use the white side. You're also going to have a random packet of flower seeds. So there are several different varieties of flowers. So hopefully you'll enjoy that, or whomever your recipient is that receives it. And then you're going to have the large striped Memories and More card itself. So those are the items that you're going to have in your kit. So today I'm going to try to leave that kit items right there in the corner and go ahead and make our project. So the first thing that you're going to do is we are going to take and fold this card in half, and at the fold you're going to trim it ever so slightly with a pair of scissors to where you cut it in half and you have 2 halves, okay? And you're just going to use one single half. That leaves you this half that if you want to use it on the rest of this project, you can, or you can save it for something else. So step 2 is to go ahead and seal, lick your envelope or use your seal or a moist paintbrush and seal that up. You're going to lay that over, and the next thing that you're going to do is take an average size cereal bowl, and you're going to lay it just so, I want to make sure you can see this. I want the bowl or the glass or whatever you're using that's going to fit right in the edges, so that when I draw the line, I'm coming right from corner to corner on there. Okay, that's all you need that for. Okay, so now you've got your line, and we're going to take, and we're first going to trim just a hair off of that top. And if you want to do that beforehand, you can, because we want to open that up. Now we're going to take our scissors and me get this opening so you can see. I'm going to slide my scissor blade in there, and then I'm going to just go right around that blue ink line. You can use a pencil. I mainly wanted you to have the blue ink line to be able to see it better on the video. And we're going to trim that out. So now you have a really wonderful large pocket. And if you want it to be deeper, you can bring your circle deeper. That's kind of up to you, whatever you want. Okay, so that we're going to lay aside for just a moment. And now we're going to come in and we are going to create the insert card for our pocket. So we're going to take and fold this up. Let me grab my ruler so I can tell you, but we're going to use about 4 full lines. So you're going to fold it up literally about 1 inch. So for those of you who want to score that, if you don't have a scoring tool or blade, let me just use my piercing tool to make a little nick. You can take the ruler and lay it right there and score right across with a bone folder, the back of your scissors, a butter knife, any of those things. But the other way you can do it is to count. When you fold it up, you want to have 4 blue stripes. And then you're going to seal that up with whatever adhesive of choice you like. You don't want to go much further in than 1/4 of an inch on each of those sides so that you have a tiny little pocket, okay? That's what we're creating, a tiny little pocket there. Now we're going to decorate the front. And to do that, we are going to look at using our cards. We're going to decorate the front of the pocket insert and the pocket itself. And I'm going to set aside the ribbons. Those are going to be used on our actual flower packet. So set those aside so that we have all these little pieces to play with out here, okay? So I'm going to choose, for my front of my pocket, I think I'm going to do the flower. And for the inside front of the pocket itself, I'm going to put this cute little note with the bee, because this is where I can write a detailed message to the gift recipient. So we're going to start, and we're going to just seal this on. Again, everyone will have different types of cards, and you will kind of make and choose how you want this to look yourself. And I'll show you another sample at the end as well, just so you can get some ideas from different cards being used. So I'm going to stick that on like so. All right. Now, that's going to be for my message, so I'm going to lay that, scooch that over for a minute. And I'm going to do a little bit more decorating on this one. And I think I'm going to save this. I think I'm going to save all that. I may actually use this over here. I may use this on my other little card too. You'll be able to see how I use the materials differently on the other cards. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and just go with my instinct. I'm going to go with this right here. And I think I'm going to fussy cut this little flower out. Now, these flowers have just been what I call scrap cut, meaning I've cut them into little floral bouquets, so to speak, by, disconnecting them from the larger whole piece of paper, but they've not been truly fussy cut. So you will need to do the fussy cutting, and in some cases, so see how that's a little nicked off there? I'm just going to remove that leaf completely. And if there's colors that you don't love together, you can remove it, and I'm going to show you that in one moment, because this actually has a little bit of the redder color that I don't really love with this. So I'm going to come right up around here, and I'm going to just bring that out. And I may use the rest of it, somewhere else on my next card, on the next little piece, so we'll see. So I've got that out. And I think I'm going to corner that. Because I took the nick out of that, it looks almost like it was designed for a corner piece. That's just a happy accident. Yours may or may not do that, and you may or may not want it there. But for mine, I'm going to go ahead and use it like that. It'll bring a little bit of something to the card additionally. All right, so we're going to see where we're at. And we may come back and add more to these as we go. Now, to do the ribbon, my idea was to take these ribbons, the two ribbons together, and we're going to end up tying them off with the twine. You must, I tried doing a lark's knot fully through here, and what I found is it is very detrimental to, they feel like they're heavier duty than they are on the little seed packets. So this time what I'm going to show you is I'm going to actually take and just go through the little holder one time, and then I've got my twine folded in half, and I'm going to lay the ribbon there. Whoops, my fingers cannot hold on tonight. All right, and I'm just going to tie that through. And I'm going to give it a good pull and a good knot, like so, okay? Now, if you do happen to be like me and you tear the hole, I'm going to show you how I fix that on another one. So now you have your ribbon. If you don't want to use all the ribbon like that, you don't have to. You can use your ribbon in other places. You can split it up however you want it to be. This is a project for you to be creative with. So I'm going to trim that. I may use that little piece of ribbon elsewhere. And then I like to trim up my ends just to make sure they have a nice finish to them. Oops. All right, so there's my ribbon decorated little seeds, and that's going to slide. And if you follow the 4-stripe rule, your seed packet will literally fit in perfectly into the little pocket, okay? And there's where we're going to write our cute little message. Now, we're going to go ahead and do a little bit more detail. I think I'm going to add this little piece that I have up over here. I think I'll do that maybe right there. And I think I'm going to take this little papaya flower. I'm going to put mine on with a glue dot. You can use whatever adhesive that you have. And you'll see on my other card, I actually used the bee. You could put it in the center there. I think I'm going to bring that pale papaya color back up to there. So we have that kind of blended in. Then you just tuck your little seed packet in. You write your message. And the recipient note, oops, you put it in properly. Not like the way I did it. I want it to go like this. Oh, that's why I forgot one detail. You want to put a little tiny bit of adhesive on the back of your pocket so that your seed, you saw what happened. I went to pull out with the ribbon because that's what the recipient is going to do. They're going to pull that pocket out with the ribbon. And if you don't have your seed packet glued in, sorry, I'm up too high. If you don't have your seed packet glued in, what happens? The seeds come out without the packet. So you want them to pull this beautiful extra piece out with it with your message. And then it fits all nice and tidy in there. Beautiful for a hand-giving small gift or token of appreciation and love. The next card that goes with the spring duo is this cute little Bumblebee and wood card. So for this, you have the wooden note card, and you have this Bumblebee Designer Series paper. And we're going to just attach it. It's cut to be, it should be pretty close to the perfect layer. There is an up and down to the bee, okay? So I believe it should be cut to where you can have the up and down. Actually, maybe not. This flower looks like it's upside down. So maybe it's good either way. And if you feel like you want your card going this way, you could certainly have it going sideways as well. In fact, maybe I'll do that for a difference on this card and show you as well. So for this card, I'm going to be stamping my small sentiment. And if you don't have a stamp, you can always handwrite a little sentiment on there. Also, you may have so if you have a card that has a saying on it already, you can use your sentiment in place right here. And I'll show you, that's kind of the look I went with on the other sample to show. But this one, I'm going to just stamp. This is from our Threw It Together stamp set, which I love because the stamps are small, but really impactful. So I'm going to double layer that onto the scallop oval. You don't have to do that. Oops, and now I got black from my finger on there. I am always doing that lately. I don't know what my deal is, but never fear. We can cover it up. So I told you that I would show you a little bit different variety using the lace doily on here. So I'm going to have to just play for a minute. I was going to... I think for me, for this card to look right, I'm going to have to do it vertically. Again, you don't have to use the doily. Maybe that's what I'll do. You could also always slide the doily in behind there and create a fun little pool, something of that sort. But I'm going to go ahead and just show you with the full doily half. And again, you can do your own version of decorating on this. But because I'm going to use the full doily, I am going to turn and make my card vertical. That's just where my brain is going. If you happen to have some of the dimensionals, I love using dimensionals, so I'm going to pop up my oval sentiment with some dimensionals. But again, that's, you do not have to have them. It's just if you do. And I'm going to set that right about there. And I'm going to cover up that little crazy error of mine, right, with that little, with my little adhesive flowers that were in my kit. You guys might have different things. And then I've got my two little bling rhinestones. And so I think I'm going to really showcase I'm going to put it on my bee. And then the tiny one I'm going to put over right here by my flowers. Actually, I think I'm going to do it on my flower. All right, so you have a 1, 2, 3 for accessories on there. If you wanted, you could add a tiny sprig of the ribbon. If you had a little piece of it, you could add that right there. So how I do that is I put a little bit of adhesive on the ribbon to seal it together, and then just on the back side and tuck it right under like so. Okay. And I still had this little piece here left over. Now, I still don't love the red for any of my stuff, but I wanted to play with this a little bit, and we'll see. I may or may not like it, but I just want to kind of give you get your brain thinking out of the box a little bit about where else you might see some of your kit materials being utilized. So it could come up in here and be tucked right behind, and I really think that could be fun and have a little bit of a special flair, and it'll kind of tie both things together. All right, So there's our finished card. Super, super cute. And if we wanted, we could always move this gem from here on the bee. We could put it right over there. I think that's nicer. All right, so that is our second note card, and it fits beautifully in the Bumblebee finished envelope. So it goes just like so. For display purposes for the video, I'm going to tuck it in like this so that you can see it, so I can lay it down on the video screen. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and get out my other two samples just to show you some differences. So let's start with our Bumblebee card. So there is, for this kit, I had a little bee instead of a flower. I had a saying sentiment, so I put it there, and then I just did the rhinestones, and I didn't use anything else on that card. So it can be just that simple and easy. It's still very, very pretty. Now, if we're going to compare pockets, let's go ahead and compare the pockets. So there's the one I did right now. And then this is the other one that I did. So you can see here, this particular card had a sentiment, but for whatever reason, my kit had two sentiment type things in it. So there's that. This floral I really liked on here because it had a lot of the Misty Moonlight. This one has a lot more papaya and fresh freesia, that pale purple. So I didn't like the red flower so much. That's why you saw me trim it down. This one had the bee, and I cut a little bit of my twine off and put it here on a knot just right there. And there's where I used my doily. So you can see it all depends on which types of cards and which extra little special pieces from the Memory and More kit you get. And then here's my pocket. So this one is simply the card glued on, and that's it. That's where I'm going to write my message. Now this I want to show you. So you can see when I ran my ribbon through in a lark's knot, I pulled too tight and I ripped that, and I tried to glue it back and forth, and in the end I had to end up trimming that piece off. So if that happens to you, you can trim right to that bottom hole without opening up the seed packet. Just don't go below that lower line. But you can trim it if you need to. And then all I did was I put it in a big knot and put glue dots on it. So you can see it's pretty sturdy back there. It's good enough that I can hold it and I can pull it in and out of the pocket. So those are the differences for you to look at and kind of see how you can create your own, let's just lay them out here, create your own versions of these cards. I'm not going to get out that other, well, maybe. How you can create your own versions of the cards and pockets. So I hope you really enjoyed this spring card duo. It's a fun one. It's beautiful. It's simple. All of the coordinating work is done for you when you purchase one of our Memory and More card kit supply product lines. So they're not only great for memory keeping and albums, but to make it fast, but they are wonderful for super fast card making. All right, I will see you guys next time. Enjoy. Bye-bye.